Kapag science and technology ang usapan, pati na kapag innovation, ang DOST-PCIEERD ang pambida natin dyan. Ngayon nga, ang goal nila, palawakin ang gamit ng 3D printing, hindi lang sa design, kung hindi sa mas marami pang industries tulad ng biomedical, aerospace at agriculture. Tara, alamin natin yan kasama ang Balik Scientist na si Dr. Gobet Advincula. Dito lang sa DOSTv Science for the People.
The Philippines is an emerging country. We are among peers with ASEAN countries, but we are classified as a young population market. But also our heritage is that we have had a good number of years na marami rin tayong mga na-contribute sa industry and one of the top countries in Asia. But suffice it to say, we need to catch up. There are many new opportunities, both technologically, economically, and of course, the whole GDP of the country needs to be at par with our neighbors. So, ang experience ko coming here in the Philippines every year is nakita ko yung mga developments, and in the last 5 to 10 years especially, DOST has been investing a lot, or the Philippine government, in improving our science and technology capacity, capability, and quality sa Pilipinas. About 50 years ago, everybody knows that we were one of the developed countries in terms of post-World War II, only behind Japan. But because of the lack of investment over time, and also other countries have very good plans, and they work hard to bring in the best technology and bring up their industry, we were left behind. And so what we're trying to do really now is catch up, but we're catching up very fast. And in terms of our focus, and especially yung tinatawag na Industry 4.0, may opportunity tayo to leapfrog many of our peers, especially with our investment on things like additive manufacturing, biotechnology, and vertical agriculture. Actually, since 1989, I left the country almost 30 years ago, but as far as I can remember, I've been visiting every year. And so I've seen many changes, contributing not only with the university research projects, but also helping with industry in terms of bringing the latest and technologically advancing them in terms of training and knowledge building. So for me, for example, I've had many interactions with the Philippine government, as well as being a Balik Scientist, an ERDT Fellow. I've helped bring grants through the universities, consulted with a number of Philippine companies through the years, especially in the area of materials, which includes plastics, chemistry, different types of additives, anti-corrosion additives. So the 3D printing really is a natural evolution of my involvement with the country, especially in advanced manufacturing. Kasi ang background ko is chemistry. I'm a chemist, but I'm also an engineer. So when you try to bring new materials into practical applications, you are able to advance the area of engineering by bringing high performance, high value adding, different types of manufacturing. So ang ginagawa ko basically is in-introduce ko yung mga advanced na bakal, metal, or yung mga plastic na nagde-degrade properly, or mga manufacturing na very efficient. And so, additive manufacturing, or sometimes people know it by 3D printing, is a very good marriage of materials and manufacturing, in that mas mapapabilis yung progress natin sa pag-develop ng mga bagong produkto, bagong proseso, at magbibigay ng magagandang trabaho sa mga Pilipino. Kasi ang manufacturing, makaklasify mo yan sa tatlong kategorya. Yung unang kategorya, tinatawag na formative manufacturing. Yan yung traditional manufacturing na extrusion, injection molding, casting. Yung second category, yung tinatawag na subtractive manufacturing. Yan yung mga milling, laser cutting. So, additive manufacturing means magpagdagdag ng materials, or adding materials during the manufacturing process. When you marry that together with computer-aided design and maybe even artificial intelligence, marami tayo nakakreate ng mga design o disenyo na very complex but very efficient. So that means yung mga industriya natin like automotive, electronics, even aerospace, madaling ma-upgrade dahil yung mga advanced yung mga design at materials na pwedeng gamitin. It will be easier but at the same time more complex, no? Yung complexity ng design, that also means that you're able to get a lot of functionality, and also the advanced design means you're able to simplify manufacturing. So I think ang magandang contribution nito sa ating mga industry is, instead of tayo nag-assemble lang, we can actually originally design advanced parts and advanced equipment. Very interestingly, additive manufacturing can also be applied to the biomedical field, dental field, biomedical field, yung mga especially sa mga aging population, kailangan natin ng mga prosthesis devices, orthopedic devices, or implants, hip replacement. Yung additive manufacturing, pwede nating magamit yan to create our own industry to supply the biomedical market, especially for our population. Actually, even in the West, 3D printing is still an emerging manufacturing process. In the US, in the Europe, it's becoming very popular and also getting into mainstream curriculum. And very interestingly, in ASEAN, we are going to be one of the first to invest massively in 3D printing or additive manufacturing, where perhaps I can quote this, that we're second to Singapore to establish such a additive manufacturing center in the whole of ASEAN. We want to leapfrog our other neighbors because we are capable, and especially this is a massive investment from the government, especially with DOST. We will be able to set up the ecosystem na matulungan natin yung mga industriya at syempre yung mga universities natin to have the proper skills and access to equipment for additive manufacturing. So maraming mga applications ng 3D printing, and I can name them, of course, with a long list, but I think primarily sa Pilipinas, matutulungan natin yung electronics industry, yung automotive industry, aerospace services. Interestingly, ang pinakamagandang contribution ng 3D printing is in parts replacement. Sa ating militar, maraming mga gamit na hindi na masyadong nagagamit or sira dahil may kulang mga parts na hindi na pinoproduce. Yung additive manufacturing, it's capable of producing those hard-to-acquire parts on our own, whether it's be metal or plastic or composite, pwede na natin gawin yan. In the area of biomedical implants, in terms of rural health, imagine mo mga iba't ibang barangay, may mga sariling 3D printers to supply the health needs of our barangay through manufacturing small prosthesis devices or parts that can improve their health. Yung mga cast, yung mga artificial arms or artificial legs, pwede na i-3D printing yan. And maganda niyan is yung advances sa medical imaging, pwede natin gamitin to make those parts very specific for the individual. Sa agriculture din, marami rin mga possibilities yan in terms of making or designing new equipments or parts to repair agricultural equipment. But yung area na replacement, parts replacement, that's just one of the most tangible economic benefits. More importantly, yung advanced development ng ating mga research skills and access to design and engineering by our industry, we can provide more R&D tools for Philippine companies to access through this user facility. One of the things that we can also target is how 3D printing can be used in schools, in particular high schools. If you have a 3D printer or 3D printing class accessible to a high school student, they can use that for designing prototypes or yung mga practical arts nila. Instead of hammering things together, they can use computer-aided design to design parts. So with that knowledge, marami silang matutunan about manufacturing very early on. And of course, universities, pwede silang magtayo ng mga tinatawag na makerspace or R&D laboratories to again explore the variety of materials and methods for 3D printing. And then kasama na yun nga yung workforce development. Once we have this center, it's very possible that we can have one of the most advanced workforces in whole of ASEAN sa area of advanced manufacturing kasi everybody can have access to a 3D printer when they want one. So this project, this center will be led by DOST, Department of Science Technology. Tatlong groups dyan ang nagsama-sama from ITDI, MIRDC at saka PCIEERD kasi may component siya ng metal manufacturing and polymer and composites manufacturing. And then PCIEERD provides a very important tool for us to train as many scholars in the area of 3D printing. Other than DOST, we're talking with DTI and BOI to link this up with industry as early as possible and perhaps with the armed forces through a program on parts manufacturing and replacement for the military. But of course, many government agencies, once they discover how broad and how unique the manufacturing process can contribute to the Philippine economy and education as well, I'm very sure we will be talking very soon with people from CHED, from TESDA, even from tourism, the Department of Tourism. Well, yung roadmap nga ng mga ibang bansa towards Industry 4.0, I think one of the impact of this in our economy is that it will accelerate our march towards Industry 4.0 in that we can bring in the design, the advanced manufacturing, artificial intelligence, disrupt the supply chain, but more importantly, make it accessible for Filipinos to be engaged in high-performance, high-technology projects that will contribute to our competitiveness among other countries. Perhaps it can be a tool for attracting foreign relocators or investors in the Philippines because we know that we are a vanguard and forward in additive manufacturing. Interestingly, one of the early goals ng project is paano natin gagamitin yung mga indigenous materials as additives. For example, as early as 5 years ago, we have been investigating the use of abaca and coconut nanocellulose as additives for strengthening materials for 3D printing. One possibility is recycling. So if we can recycle plastics cleanly and use that as a filament or raw material for 3D printing, pwede rin yun. Kasi that means that we can high value add those waste materials and use them again for or repurpose them for other types of manufactured goods. In terms of perhaps environmental impact in reducing the amount of waste in manufacturing. This is one of the best. Dahil additive siya, every time you build a material, you just add material. You don't subtract a material. You don't waste batches of during formative manufacturing na mali yung timpla. But in terms of optimized materials, pwede nating i-match yan. So additive manufacturing is naturally one of the most efficient ways of preventing or mitigating wastage of materials, and very environmentally friendly too. So officially, this project started actually this month, January 2019. We have an initial phase of 3 years for the project. We will be rapidly acquiring instruments, tools, undergoing training, workshops. So we invite the public to inquire with DOST, ITDI, and MIRDC with regards to the specifics of the program. Perhaps at the beginning of next year, we will have the physical center next to MIRDC where the public can view the machines and the R&D labs that will be set up here at DOST.
DOSTv would like to thank Filipino Creazione de Mano Incorporated. Visit their showroom at ground floor lobby, PSMBFI Building, 318 Santolan Road, West Crames, San Juan City. SciDev, the world's leading source of reliable and authoritative news, views, and analysis on information about science and technology for global development. Visit their website at www.scidev.net.
Kapag talaga siningitan natin ng science and technology ang maliliit na bagay, wala tayong talo. Walang urong, puro sulong. Kaya naman, exciting days ahead para sa S&T Industries sa Pilipinas dahil sa Additive Manufacturing and 3D Printing Center Project ng DOST. Ako po si Jel Miranda at ito ang nag-iisang daily science TV show sa Pilipinas. Ito ang DOSTv Science for the People.